Hey, Adam Franklin here, and I'm just starting this week's Facebook Live. Got a little bit of company here. Hello. So today I'm coming to you from the Gold Coast, and in the background there you can sort of see all the way round to, or behind the trees actually, around to Coolangatta. But I'm in Tugun at the moment, here for a couple of work meetings. And look, today's Facebook Live, we're going to talk about a couple of things. There's three questions. First is from Nadine in Sydney, and she has submitted a question. So we're going to answer three questions, and I'm going to talk to you about some email marketing platforms that I recommend as well. So there is a free Tools of the Trade mini course that I've got available for people that tune in for these Facebook Lives, and I'm going to put the link to that in the comments. But if you want me to shoot that across to you via Messenger or whatever, just put yes in the comments and I'll send that through. And look, the first question from Nadine, she said, do you think it is best to build my social media presence under my personal name or my business name? I currently have both but need to streamline to one ideally. And my answer to that is, look, when I was starting out on some of these social media platforms as well, I didn't want to make too much work for myself, so I just started off with my business name. It was Blue Wire Media, and I got started with that. You've always got the opportunity to make more work for yourself, right? So I would recommend if you've got two, pick one that you're really going to run with. Certainly, reserve your name on some of these platforms like Instagram and Twitter. I mean, even still Twitter, even though it's not as popular anymore. But try and reserve your name, even if you're only going to use one as your primary platform. But when I started, we just did Blue Wire, and then as we got more comfortable with it and confident with it, I got my personal one. Toby got his personal one, and we've now got like a social media manager that looks after the Blue Wire one, and we run our personal ones ourselves. So that's what I would recommend for that question. Question number two, and certainly if you've got more questions, just pop them in the comments, I'll get to them. Question number two is, I am building an email list currently. What specific product would you recommend to manage my email communications and email marketing? So this is from Nadine again, and there's a few ways to answer this. There's lots of good email marketing platforms depending on where you happen to be on your marketing journey. So when we started out, we used Vision 6's Vmail product. We then used Campaign Monitor, and now we use Infusionsoft. Now that's not necessarily the right path for everybody. However, the platforms that I do recommend at the moment are Active Campaign. Now I'm going to explain the reasons why. Okay, so I'm on Infusionsoft because we've been doing it for quite a while now. There's quite a few people on our email list, and it's quite a robust system. It means we can have digital products. It means we can segment our list a lot. Thanks for the likes there. Keep tapping the likes if you're tuning in and liking what I'm saying. Also tag a friend if you're there in marketing or they own a business and you reckon they would like some of this chat, then tag them or share it with them. So I'm using Infusionsoft, but we've been doing it for a while, so it's a complex beast. You've probably heard me call it Confusionsoft. We actually need a consultant to help us use it and technicians to implement a lot of the stuff, so I don't recommend that as a starting point. What I do recommend as a starting point, if you're brand new, there's a lot of different platforms. MailChimp is a good one, very easy to use. It's free for, I think it's under 200 contacts. You've also got Drip, which is now owned by Lead Pages, which is the landing page platform that I've spoken to you about on several of these Facebook Lives. So it's very easy to use. Drip gives you marketing automation, so does MailChimp. So marketing automation, if you've been tuning into some of these Facebook Lives, is the ability to send a series of pre-scheduled emails to people when they sign up and join your email list. So Drip is actually, I think it starts at $9 a month. You've also got platforms like ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign is great because it's a good balance between the really simple, easy to use platforms like MailChimp and Drip, but it's got a lot of the power and sophistication of, say, an Infusionsoft or an Ontraport, but it's not as bloated and it's not as difficult to use. Now, I'm not on it personally, I'm on Infusionsoft, which can be a bit of a pain, but friends that use ActiveCampaign, they love it. And it's nowhere near as expensive as Infusionsoft either. The other good thing about ActiveCampaign is that it is supported by Automation Agency. So what that means is that if you're a non-techie like me, and like many people that are probably watching this Facebook Live or get our Blue Wire news, you don't want to be spending all your time trying to work out these software platforms. What I like to do is send the task off to what used to be our developers, and I can see a couple on the call. Hello, Shannon. We used to have our development team who would handle all of this, but now, since we've moved to a marketing and education company and are no longer a sort of web design marketing agency, I send tasks to Automation Agency, and they support a bunch of different platforms, but not all of them. So the ones they do support, Infusionsoft, Ontraport, and ActiveCampaign currently. They're looking at Drip, I'm told, so they're not there yet at the time of this recording, which is winter in Australia, which is not a bad winter, hey, for people tuning in from overseas. But yeah, they don't support Drip, but they do support ActiveCampaign, so that is well worth a look. So if you've sort of got 10, 20, 30,000 email contacts and you want to do sophisticated marketing funnels and tagging people, look, do go ahead and use your Ontraport or Infusionsoft. But if you're starting out and you do want that help from people like from Automation Agency, ActiveCampaign is one that I highly recommend. Just reading some of the questions coming in. Hashem, maybe just try and, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. You said, what's the best platform? Can I make a successful marketing on him? Not quite sure what you mean there, mate. Just shoot it through again if you can. Otherwise, I'll hit you up after the live bit's over. So look, they're the email platforms I recommend. Look, there's others. ActiveCampaign, I've talked about that already. We've got Aweber, Constant Contact. I've mentioned the ones that we used in the start. Campaign Monitor, awesome Australian company. So is Vision 6's Vmail product. So all very good options. Rather than getting too overwhelmed with what's going to be the best, just pick one. You can always change later, and just start with something simple and light and usable, and you'll be fine. But if you do have any further clarification you'd like, then shoot me a message or an email. And then finally, third question is from Rosario in Spain, and she has asked, what are the characteristics of an anchor blog post? Could you please define it? She said, this is important because I can do 3 of these anchor pieces of content if I can and get the full web strategy engine going with repurposing and all of that. It would be worthwhile to be thorough and especially generous and smart with those first 3 pieces. Yes, okay. So an anchor blog post. When I say an anchor blog post, I kind of just mean, thanks for the likes, keep hitting the like button if you're enjoying what I'm saying. Welcome to the new people on the call. When I say an anchor blog post, what I mean is, like, it's a normal blog post. It goes, generally speaking, on your blog, but it is one article that you create that, a few friends in the background and a dog, is an article that you create that's really valuable to your prospective buyers. So what you want to do as a marketer and a business owner with what you're doing with your online marketing is to have it reflect and mirror what you do in real life. So in real life, there's kind of like this journey that you take your prospects on so that you can qualify them and so that you can nurture them, and then the right clients, the right people become clients. What you want to do is actually sort of mirror that with the content you drip feed them when they sort of discover you. And So having 3 anchor blog posts is important, at least 3 anchor blog posts is important, because just like with that email autoresponder, you're delivering content that helps them go from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3 through that buying cycle, through that education cycle with you. So very often the content of an email would also be the content of a blog post. You're repurposing the content, so you could actually either use the email to link to the blog, or you could have all that blog article in the body of an email, or any combination of those. But what's important is what you put in the blog. So it's got to be generally quite valuable. That should go without saying, but it's also designed to help people on those baby steps. They can be in depth. In fact, a lot of good anchor blog posts are very in depth, because once you've got that anchor blog post, as well as actually nurturing the people that come into your ecosystem and you're mailing them, it actually sits on your blog and it's discoverable by Google. So you're actually having this anchor blog post attract people into your business, as well as using it to nurture people that already have just discovered you. So the benefit there is twofold. Plus, an anchor piece of content is really, well, it's valuable, and if it's really good, it's going to attract links. Other people are going to link to it if it's a good piece of content, which has a number of benefits. 1, the traffic that it sends. 2, the backlink is a powerful signal to Google. So there's all sorts of flow-on effect from a piece of anchor content. It's called anchor just because it's kind of like the foundation. Everything, it's the most important stuff. It's what you anchor your digital marketing strategy to. So Rosario, that is my definition. The other great thing about it is, as you mentioned in your question, you can repurpose it into different formats. And something I've discovered, well, not lately, but reasonably like this year, is that people like learning in different ways. So some people like watching these videos on Facebook, and I'll embed this video on a blog post on our blog. But some people don't watch video at all. Some people read, and some people listen to podcasts. So one of the good things about having anchor content is you might actually take your blog article and use it on your blog. You might then use that content on your email, but you could actually read that article and make it an audio file or a podcast, and you could even explain that same concept via a video just like this, and that could sit on YouTube, it could sit on Facebook. So what you're actually doing there is you're taking the one piece of anchor content and you're repurposing it into lots of different formats. It might also take the format of an infographic that could live on Pinterest, or break it up into different sort of ideas or quotes for visual graphics on Instagram. So you're right, if you do have, like, say 3 really good pieces of content that help your buyers, your prospective buyers, go on that journey with you, the great thing is, rather than then worrying about doing another 20 blog posts, just take that really good quality stuff, repurpose it, and put it out there on different parts of the internet. Because as we know, not everybody's watching videos, not everybody's on email. I mean, they do have email, but not everyone's, liking reading. Some people like to watch YouTube, some people like to listen to podcasts. So if you can be discoverable in all those places, then you're going to get your valuable, helpful content in front of more people, and you're going to attract more of the right people in. So, Hashem, I still don't quite know what you mean by that question, but mate, I'll hit you up afterwards. So just to recap, we've had the question, do I set up my social media with a business one or a personal one, or both? Look, I personally started with business, then went to personal, and now do both. But just don't bite off more than you can chew and then lose your motivation for doing it. Just pick one, do it for a bit, and if then you feel like you're liking it enough and you're getting the momentum, then add more in. Second question was, which email platforms do you recommend? ActiveCampaign if you're getting started, Infusionsoft or Ontraport if you're quite sophisticated. But really, I say them because they're supported by Automation Agency, which means you can get support to help you actually do it all. And final question was about the Anchor blog posts. All right, so that's a wrap for today's Facebook Live. I'll just give you a quick little extended tour of where I'm at. So right behind me there, you can see all those high-rise buildings. That's, I think you can, or maybe it's over there. You can see over to Coolangatta anyway, and that's one of my favourite spots on the Gold Coast. So another bit of company. Yeah, beautiful sunset, middle of winter here on the Gold Coast. But this is where I'm at for the week, and thanks for joining the call, folks, and we'll see you on the next Facebook Live. But if you do want the marketing mini course, just type yes in the comments. I'm going to put the link in there as well so you can get started on that. It talks about all the email platforms, all the landing page software, all the different tools and stuff that we use ourselves and that we recommend. So look, with that, I'll call it a day from the Goldie, and we'll see you all later. Bye.